Hello and welcome to the Switching to Plan B podcast. I'm Robin.
And I'm Jumbo.
And today we're reviewing the Hungarian Grand Prix, where Verstappen wins yet again, Ferrari throw it away yet again, and Mercedes have a double podium yet again.
Tires are okay for Plan B.
So should we start with Red Bull, Max Verstappen? Great win.
Very, very good win from P10.
Yep, started P10. It was quite a difficult race for him.
Yeah, it's not an easy track to overtake though, is it?
And the conditions were a bit iffy.
It was a bit of a tease the whole race, wasn't it? It was like, oh, am I going to rain? A few drops and then like no, and then a few drops and then no. Yeah, he did have a bit of a moment though, didn't he?
Yeah, with his 360 spin, which he was kind of laughing about afterwards. It was very good control.
It was very good control. It was a bit strange as well. It just sort of got away from him. Because we always say, like, Max doesn't really make mistakes. And it's weird to see that kind of mistake from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that may have been conditions. We don't actually know. But he did, as you say, he did very well to keep that going as well.
Yeah. It was quite good because he started at the back. There was a bit more battles between the different drivers.
Yeah.
Where he was overtaking or he was battling against them. So that was quite good to watch.
Yeah, he had a good little battle with Leclerc to get past Leclerc. I think that was before Ferrari decided to shoot themselves in the foot. And it was a bit like Leclerc almost did a Max Verstappen medicine almost. Really squeezed him enough, but just squeezed him to a point where it's like, I can't squeeze you anymore.
Yeah.
But Max seems fine with that because that's what Max does anyway. So, yeah, I quite liked it. A bit of Max actually, getting a bit of instead of just running away with it, I had to do a bit of work for that.
Yeah. And he seemed quite happy with it. And
I don't think they were expecting that from qualifying. I think they had some sort of power issue. I think they said MG UK, I wanted to say. They changed it on Checo's car and his car as precaution.
Yeah.
So there still are questions about the reliability with Red Bull, which just doesn't seem as bad as Ferrari. But even so, the fact from qualifying P10 on a track that you can't really overtake historically that well on, the new car showed that you could, and that coming from P10 was actually very impressive.
Yeah. And I think overall there was quite a lot of overtaking.
Yeah.
It was quite an exciting race to watch.
It did. We didn't fully know where it was going to go the whole time. There wasn't really a lull. Normally you get like lulls in these races, but no, not really.
No. Should we go on to Ferrari?
I feel like it's exactly the same thing as last week.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff happens again and again. And it's not like it's just this year either. They're constantly, over the past 5 years, been shooting themselves in the foot. Constantly.
It's almost like they're not used to being the ones that call the shots. A lot of their strategy seem to be based on what other people are doing. So, for example, Max pitted. They responded by pitting also. Yeah,
we need to clarify that. So Max was on the softs, whereas they were on the medium tyres. So Max stopping and Russell stopping, who was actually
P1
at the time, yeah.
Made sense.
Made sense for them to stop because that was the time they needed to stop. But the two Ferrari cars were on the medium tyres, similar to Lewis.
Yeah, who pitted a lot later.
Yeah, so it was like they almost went, well, our medium tyres have now become soft tyres. So what was the point of having not being on the soft tyre then? They might as well have just started on the soft tyre if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that.
And then they pitted for medium tyres, which meant that they'd have to pit another time to change those tyres.
Yeah.
So it was almost like, I'm not 100% sure what Ferrari's strategy, what the strategy was and why they did what they did. It just didn't make sense to me.
No. I don't buy Carlos's response either. He was saying that it wasn't a strategy call necessarily that we got wrong. It was more the fact that the car was not quick like it was yesterday. But I was thinking, if you look at it in the hands of Leclerc had pace in that car. That's why he was leading the race for a time.
Sainz also led the race for a short time.
Yes.
Sainz was ahead of Leclerc a lot of times.
Initially, yeah.
I think that's why they pitted Sainz.
But it didn't make sense to me. It's like they were, instead of running their own race, they decided to react to everyone else, what everyone else was doing, instead of just going, look, this is our call. And you know how we said last week about how the drivers aren't sure what they're going to do, so then they're like, I don't really trust them, so I'm going to try and do whatever I want to do. It's almost like they did trust them this week, and they got it wrong again, which then almost reinforces later on, I don't want to trust them when they go, do you want to come in? And it's like, are you sure this is a good time? Because Leclerc even said the medium tyre he was on, before they stopped him and put him on the hard tyre, which seems to be the worst decision in the world, he said that he was fine on the mediums, a bit like Lewis and Carlos were on the mediums. So why did they stop him? And we knew that hard tyre was rubbish as well. So with 30 laps to go, why stop him and put him on the hard tyre? Because the Alpines were so slow because they both went on the hard tyre and they literally fell back down the grid.
They did. They did recover some of the places, but being Ferrari, they should have seen, everyone else that has tried going on the hards have actually not done very well for it. So let's just, what they did to Sainz, wait a little bit longer and then get the softs, which they did and Sainz did well. I mean, not as well as he would have wanted, seeing as he started in P2, But I just feel like how none of them finished on the podium and they were second and third. Yeah. They qualified second and third. And we said this before, that you don't get any points for Saturday. But Russell still finished third. Does that make sense? Russell finished third and he started first. Yeah. So it's still like, and that Ferrari is miles quicker than that Mercedes. Yeah. If you give me any car this year that I would want to be in, I want to be in that Ferrari because it's quick. I just don't want the Ferrari team managing the strategy. Yeah, I agree with that. Because you can have a good car, but if you don't have a good strategy or good strategist, you can lose it. And you can win races if you have a good strategy. Which I think is what Mercedes have done. Yeah, I generally do. Their car is not on par with Red Bull or Ferrari, but they've managed to get on podium a lot. Yeah. Was it 5 in a row for Hamilton this week? Yeah, something like that. Second place in a row as well. 2 second places in a row for Hamilton as well. Yeah, I think that is the clear difference, is that Mercedes and Red Bull are on it with strategies. Because you've got to hand it to Red Bull. They nailed the strategy. They did. Forced Ferrari into doing something stupid and they bought it. Yeah. And Max just ran his own race and it's Max Verstappen. He's blinding. So, yeah, I think it's nuts. I think it's absolutely nuts. I don't know what's wrong with Ferrari, but they've got to change something because we've seen this before. 2017 or 2018, 2019, they had the best car. And they still couldn't win a championship. 22, they've now got the best car. They're not going to win a championship. Yeah. Max is 80 points ahead of Leclerc now. That's 3 DNFs he can have in the last 9 races. He cannot finish a third of the remaining races and he will still win a title. Yeah. That's ridiculous. And they technically, Ferrari have the best car. And with Mercedes being on podiums, that's going to hinder Ferrari even more. So the gap's just going to get bigger. Yeah, because we say Mercedes aren't there with Red Bull and Ferrari really on pace, but they are catching up to them quite quickly now. The last 5 races, the improvement has been there and they're starting to understand the car. And we always said this, once Mercedes start getting back in it, this is going to be much more exciting because then we've got 6 cars or 6 drivers all fighting for it. But I look at Ferrari at the moment, I'm thinking, I don't know, I just feel like they might go backwards. We've also got a technical directive coming in from at the next race at Spa, but with the whole new floors thing. So if that affects Ferrari again... Oh, yes, I completely forgot about that. The flexi floor stuff. Yeah. So if that affects... Horner is adamant it's not going to affect Red Bull, but I think Red Bull are so far ahead anyway that I don't think it's going to hinder them too much, even if it does. And Ferrari... They may lose, possibly, we don't know. They may lose all of their advantage that they've got over someone like Mercedes. So I've got no idea. But Ferrari, man, what's happened? I know. And as I said, for now, Mercedes are benefiting from it. So Russell starting in P1 did go down to P3, but still podium, which is good. Bit of a shame because it could have been his first F1 win. Yeah, to match his first F1 pole. Yeah. That would be really good. Which was a bit of a shock because watching qualifying, I didn't think he wasn't lighting up the charts essentially. So it was all just green. It wasn't purple. So he wasn't actually setting fastest sectors, which is normally if you get fastest sectors, you end up on pole position. So it's quite a bit of a shock that he was just there. But fair play to him, great lap, and I think he will be disappointed that the race just got away from him, didn't it? Yeah, it did. The Ferraris probably would have got him on raw pace if they didn't mess up the strategy. I think they would have got him. It could have been worse for Russell because if Ferraris were on point, he probably wouldn't even have made podium. No. So that is true. Do you still think that maybe he wasn't on the right strategy as well? Well, we mentioned the rain teasing us the whole
the whole race. It was actually drizzling at the start of the race. So he said that he wanted to start on the softs because then if it does start raining, he's going to gain that advantage and then come in and put the inters on or wets on, whatever. And that would have, see what I mean? I think he was thinking that was a great decision to start with.
Yeah.
But the fact that we never got rain, even at the end, we never fully got rain.
Yeah. Because I think Lewis did the opposite. He started with mediums and then went on to softs,
towards the end,
which worked better for him.
Yeah. I've always preferred that because you're getting the best tyre, in theory, when the car's the lightest. So your car's going to be so fast.
Yeah.
I always think that's...
Which then makes sense because Hamilton managed to make his way through quite a few people.
Yeah.
And get the fastest lap.
Yeah, which is another point as well. So,
yeah.
Lewis was very good.
Yeah.
P7, he started. I think he had some sort of DRS issue, I think he said.
Yeah, DRS wasn't working for him.
And he was adamant that if he'd gotten a lap in, he would have been in the top, maybe even on the top, front row, or even on the second row for qualifying to start like P4. He thinks that he would have won the race from that position today, which... Yeah, maybe, but I think Verstappen... I still feel like Verstappen was just cruising today. As soon as he got into the lead and Ferrari had shot themselves in the foot, I thought Verstappen is just cruising now.
If Hamilton was in the lead, would Verstappen have just cruised? Does that make sense?
But that's what I mean.
It would have been a completely different race.
But that's what I mean. I think Verstappen probably would have still won, even if Lewis was in the first couple of rows qualified where he did. Because I just think Verstappen... I don't know, he's scary at the moment. He's really scary, I think, Verstappen at the moment. He's just matured and, like, even going into turn one, he lost a little bit of places or didn't go so aggressive because he knew, I've just got to finish this race.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. He's more relaxed, so he's just focusing on driving well rather than being first.
But it's even like things like today, he must have been cruising because why would you want to put extra strain on your car if you don't need to? Yeah. I think he had Lewis and Ferrari at an arm's reach today, and Max was like, I don't need to push the car so much.
No, and he didn't get fastest lap. I don't think he was even trying for it.
No, so yeah, I still think...
his tyres, he had old tyres.
He did have old tyres, but it was fine.
So moving on from Mercedes, I've kind of just wanted to make a general note. So a lot of people, especially the top 3 teams, went on softs and mediums. Interchange, so some started with softs, some with mediums.
Ferrari and Leclerc.
Leclerc decided, well, it wasn't Leclerc, but the team decided to put hard tyres on Leclerc.
Yeah.
And in general, the hard tyres didn't seem to work today for other teams that had previously had them.
Yeah.
Alpine suffered, as we mentioned a bit earlier.
Yeah. There's quite a lot. I think Lando went on the hard tyres as well, didn't he at one point?
I want to say it was Ricciardo went on hard tyres.
Oh, I thought it was Orlando. Definitely
maybe.
One of the McLarens was definitely on hard tyres.
I think Ricciardo was definitely on hard tyres.
Right.
I don't know about Norris, but I want to say some of the Alpha Tauris might have been on them. Haas was on them.
Yeah.
And they were just losing pace.
Yeah. I feel like, because it's been a bit weird this year where the hard tyre's almost been the best race tyre, hasn't it? Everyone wants to be on the hard tyre as opposed to the soft being almost just a qualifying tyre this year.
Yeah.
So it was weird to almost see that flip almost. But I think it was due to it being cooler.
Yeah.
The temperatures being much cooler today. I think they said the track temperature was only like 20 odd degrees as opposed to being like, I think we had 60 degrees last week at France. So maybe the track temperature is playing a big part of that.
Yeah.
With the tyre deg. It's the only thing I can really think about. But yeah, you're right. It was a strange day. It was like that today, really.
Apart from the race, we had a... trying to find the right word for it. Announcement? Yeah. Yep. Announcement is what I was going to go for. Announcement that Seb is retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah. We did mention last week, I thought, I asked you, I said, do you think he's going to retire? Do you think he'll sign that new contract? He's been offered it, but hasn't taken it.
Yeah. I did say, I thought that he would either sign the contract with Aston Martin or not sign it and retire. And he hasn't said that it is because of the contract. He said he wants to spend more time with his family and things are important. And he's created the hashtag, there's another race to win, which I think means climate change.
Maybe. I think he will take some time away from motorsport.
Yeah.
I like to think that he will be an ambassador for F1, and I can see him doing that and sort of pushing F1 in the right directions, because we've said this before. He's been someone that is so good at telling F1, look, this is not right.
Yeah.
And, I feel like he is a bit like Jackie Stewart was with the whole safety of F1. I think Seb can almost be like this whole, look, we need to reach these climate goals or do something with this, or, the diversity in F1 and all of that. He can be someone that can almost push F1 and be on them to do that.
Because I think companies need someone to go, no, we're not doing this, because otherwise that's not what they're thinking about.
No. And I do feel like we may see him in something like Extreme E or maybe even Formula E down the line if he wants to do that. But the fact that he said that he wants to stay with his family, I think for the time being, I think Seb's just going to take it easy.
I mean, yeah. But then Kimi also said that he wanted to spend more time with his family, and he's taking up racing again.
Yeah, he's gone to NASCAR. It is a bug for them, isn't it? It's a drug. They have to get that adrenaline rush. So we might see Seb. Some people are saying that maybe if this Porsche Red Bull deal goes through, that he might come back and drive for Red Bull with Porsche and all of that in 2026, a bit like Michael Schumacher did with Mercedes. I feel like the way how Seb is and where he's at mentally, from what I've gathered, I don't know if I could see that. It'd have to be in a certain way. If it's like maybe biofuels or something, like we're not actually making carbon, maybe something like that, he might be able to buy in. But the other thing I was going to say is that, yes, Alonso is fantastic to have in the sport and come back, and he's an amazing driver. And Lewis is still well within his peak, I think. And Seb, it's great to have the sport, but times change. We need a new era coming through. I mean, look at the era we've had with Russell, Albon, Lando, Leclerc, Max. We've got now those 5 drivers are amazing. And what if all these older drivers didn't move on and stop the likes of those guys coming through? So I do feel like maybe it's just the right time for Seb.
Yeah.
I just wrapping up on that though, I am a little bit sad to see him go, because he's one of my favourite drivers. I think he's got an iconic helmet design, just a funny, nice guy, great guy to have around the paddock. And I do think F1 will miss Seb, I think.
Yeah.
Before we move on, just do a quick race rundown just to make sure we haven't missed anyone, because we normally have. Obviously, Max won. Great result for him. Lewis P2 and fastest lap. George P3. He will be a little bit disappointed with that, I think, looking back on it. But, sometimes the races just don't go for you. Carlos Sainz P4. Again, he's going to be even more annoyed than Russell is. Checo. Totally forgot about Checo this weekend. I don't think I saw much of him at all. Qualified P11, didn't do very well in qualifying.
Yeah.
And sort of had his own strange little race, I guess.
He started off better. He got quite a few places. And then I think at one point, Max overtook him. It was really easy, just let him pass sort of thing, because apparently they're on different strategies, according to Martin Brundle. Right. But Perez was a bit further down the pack.
He's really dropped off.
Yeah.
He's someone that really needs a summer break to almost re-energise himself. Yeah, I was surprised at how far he's dropped off the pace from Max now. P6, Charles Leclerc. I'm going to say this now. If Ferrari keep doing this, I don't think Charles will sign a contract with them next time. I think his contract goes to 2024. I think Charles will walk away if they keep making mistakes.
Yeah, it's just whether there's a seat somewhere else for him to go, though. I
think nearly every other team would want him. But yeah, that is my hot take, I guess, is that if Ferrari don't sort themselves out, Leclerc might just be like, do you know what? I'm not going to win championships here.
Yeah.
P7 Lando, probably the best of the rest outside the top 3 teams.
I agree.
Although I do feel like Alpine's quick. I feel like they botched up their strategy this week.
They
Obviously,
did.
Fernando P8, Ocon P9, still points. But I just feel like they probably were quicker than they made out this weekend, I think. Seb, P10, points.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a very good qualifying, though.
No, he was out in Q1.
Yeah, which was a bit of a shame, because he's normally very good around this track. But got that point. Ahead of his teammate Lance Stroll in P11. Did have a bit of a coming together with Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
In turn 2, sorry. which I didn't. I think that was Ricciardo's fault. I think he got a time penalty for that. We'll check the notes in a minute. Pierre Gasly P12. Didn't see much of the Gazman today. P13 Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, sorry. Again, I didn't see much of the back of the end of the grid.
I think it's because the front was so exciting
chopping and changing a lot.
They didn't show a lot of these.
No, Schumacher P14, 15th for Ricciardo in the end.
Yeah,
I thought he was doing all right. I think he's in the points at one point.
He was, yeah.
So maybe he picked up damage. I'm not sure. Ricciardo received a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Stroll, so that is why he's 15th then. K-Mag had a bit of damage early on, had got the meatball flag, or the black and orange flag, as it's also known as, P16. P17, Alex Albon. P18, Nicholas Latifi as well. They were 1 and 3 in FP3.
Yeah,
with Latifi.
Because it was raining.
Yeah, but even so, Latifi, he was P1 in FP3, so read into that what you will. Tsunoda, P19, and then Valtteri Bottas, the only DNF with 5 laps to go, brought out the VSC.
Yeah.
Tsunoda also in P19, going back to him, he had a bit of a spin, didn't he, at one point?
Yes, he did.
Coming out the chicane.
Just after he pitted.
Yeah,
which probably would have ruined his tyres a little bit.
Again, that AlphaTauri is very hit and miss, isn't it? It's really strange this year. And then in the notes, obviously, Lewis got fastest lap and Ricciardo got a 5-second time penalty.
Tyres are okay for plan B.
Moving on to questions. So we start with Eddie.
Hello, Eddie.
How many championships do you think each current driver will finish their career with?
Wow.
Well, I'm going to go with first one. Seb is going to finish with 4.
4. That's an easy one. Drivers that I don't think will win a title. That's probably the easier way to start, isn't it? Who do you think won't win a title? So I've gone Bottas, I don't think will get a title. Zhou, I don't think.
Yeah. Stroll,
I don't think will. Yuki and Gasly won't. Don't think either the AlphaTauri drivers will.
Okay.
Because if they ever do get a seat, he'll be in the Red Bull and they're going up against Max, who I don't think they're going to beat Max in an out-and-out race.
True.
K-Mag won't. I don't think Schumacher will.
Okay.
Because I like Schumacher. I just don't think he's got the raw pace. I don't think he's got that chip. His dad had it.
Yeah.
And we saw a bit of it with Russell today. I always go on about this. You can be nice, but then there's a nasty side where you get your elbows out, and Russell made it very difficult for Charles to get past. Not in a nasty way, but just in a way where it was like, I'm not letting you through easy. Whereas I feel like Bottas just used to let people walk past him, basically.
Almost like a bit of being scared. Maybe not scared, but like...
It's almost a confidence. They don't have
maybe
a confidence just to go, look, I can do this.
I'm the boss here.
Yeah. Who else do I not think will win one? Ricciardo. I don't think Ricciardo will.
Yeah, I think he would have won by now. Yeah.
Albon won't, I don't think. Neither will Latifi. So that's 11 drivers. Esteban Ocon, do you think he will or won't win a title?
I mean, he's a good driver, and if Alpine managed to get championship contending, no, I don't think he will.
Because I was thinking, even if they do, Alonso will win it over Ocon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Ocon won't do it. I don't think Alonso will get another one. I think Alonso will finish with 2.
Okay.
Who else have we missed? I think the other is just Lando in the top 6 teams. And I don't think Checo will get a title because Max is there.
Yeah.
Lando, I'm going to go Lando will get...
I reckon at least 1.
I was going to say at least 1. I think he'll get 1.
Yeah.
I think George will get 1.
George would get 1.
I'm going to say Carlos won't get 1. And neither will Checo.
Yeah. I'd like Carlos to get 1.
I would love Carlos to get 1, but I don't think he will. And then we're left with... Oh no, hang on, this doesn't work because there's loads. Max, not being funny, Max could get 5 for me at this current rate.
I was thinking that. Max will go as long as he's winning, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't see Max stopping, if that makes sense.
I'm going to say Max will get 5. I think Lewis will get another one. I think Lewis will get 8.
Yeah.
Maybe Lando and Russell might get more than that. Oh, Leclerc. I totally forgot about Leclerc. I think Leclerc will get 2.
Yeah.
Easily. If Ferrari pulled their finger out, I think Leclerc could easily get 2. But I do think we are going to be in a period of Max just dominating
that's my
this.
thing. Like, for example, if Max goes and gets 5 and Lewis get his 8th one between that, that's another 5 years, right? Or 4 because he could get this year.
He is going to get this year.
So in that time, are other drivers still going to be at their peak, for example? Like, is Russell going to still be driving the way he is today or be better in 5 years' time?
But the other thing you've got to remember is that it's not just that, is that there's drivers that will be 15 years old
that will be driving.
They'll be on the grid at that
point.
And
are they going to be like what Max Verstappen was when he started?
We don't know.
Because Max could have won championships beforehand. It was just that Mercedes was so dominating.
Yeah. I think that's a really difficult one to quantify. But if we go back to it, I just think Max he could get a hatful of them. He could get loads. I think Lewis could get another one. I think George Lando could easily pick up a few, as could Leclerc.
Yeah.
I think they're the 5 drivers that I look at and go, yeah, they could really do it.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Carlos and as much as I love Checo as well, I just don't feel like they're quite on it. Anyway, let us know who you think will win championships, because that's quite an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Thanks, Eddie. Then we've got another question from Brad. What would be your favourite F1 trophy? There's the reliable old cup-shaped trophy.
Like Silverstone.
But isn't it, I thought that the cup shape stays there.
Yeah, it's like it does. It stays at Silverstone, and they get the other one, and they stay back to the factory.
Yeah.
That's quite traditional, actually. Something like that. I'm not that big a fan of all these traditional ones, if I'm honest.
I like it when they're a bit cooler, like.
I like
weird
some of the crazy shapes. The one today was cool.
Yeah,
because that was quite an interesting. I'm not sure if that's a sponsorship one, because sometimes they are.
I quite liked the W Series last weekend.
Do you know what I was going to say? That
one was quite cool
because it was a bit funky.
Yeah,
and it made you when you look at it, you go, "Oh, that's a bit different."
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a bit sidetracked. We didn't even finish Brad's question.
Yeah,
where did we get up to?
So the cup shape trophy, the track shape trophy, or the steering wheel.
Yeah,
we had steering wheel in a while.
We haven't had them for ages, but you did used to get them. There's almost like a plate. You get them every now and then. I want to say Spain used to do it. I want to say Catalonia used to do it. I don't know if they still do.
Or the ape-shaped trophy.
Yeah, they had Paul Ricard, although it wasn't last week.
It wasn't last week,
and I was disappointed because they were really cool, the gorilla trophies, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's the only
If
good
say
thing
in
about...
brackets, perhaps no more. Yeah, maybe no more.
Yeah.
I do think
that was the only good thing about Paul
sometimes,
Ricard. That and the bucket hat.
The bucket hat. That's probably next year's trophy.
No, we're not going there. But imagine if that was. That'd be well good, like a bucket hat trophy. That'd be great. Also, Brad said there he's not a big fan of the track shaped ones. I quite like the Austrian one. I really like that because it's wood.
Yeah.
I reckon it smells nice. Do you know what I mean? Like a nice, it's almost like charred wood.
Like
smell.
When it's laser cut.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be quite nice. But for some reason, always for me, the Austrian one. I don't know why.
Yeah, you do always say that the Austrian one's your favourite.
It's really nice. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's just have got metal on it, where it's like gold, silver, or bronze at the bottom, obviously where you come, and then they've got the track silhouette of it. I think it's just a nice blend of very feng shui.
Yeah. Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. No, I prefer like last week's W Series trophy or what was this week's?
The silhouette, the black with the little bee or something. I'm not sure what it was. I think it might have been a sponsored one.
Right.
But they're all the same, but just different sizes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'd really like? Is that if anyone follows sort of cricket, England versus Australia are called the Ashes. They have this tiny little urn. It's tiny. I want to say about 2 inches tall or something. 2 or 3 inches tall.
2 inches in centimetres?
Let's say about 6 to 10 centimetres.
Right.
It's quite small. And they're all lobbing it over their heads as if it's a big trophy like the Premier League or, some of the trophies you get in F1. And they're tiny little things. I think that they should give that to the third place person.
Oh, no.
Just a tiny little thing. Just like, yay! It's like a little Lego man almost. Just
So like okay, so normal size trophy for P1 and then like half that size for P2 and then half that size again for P3.
Yeah, I think it should be really obvious, like how it's really small.
Yeah.
And then constructors get like 4 times bigger.
If you think about it, putting them on a shelf, that size is actually quite a good size to have on a shelf.
Yeah, and like you think about like, you know, how big is Mercedes or Red Bull's trophy case at this point? Like, it must be massive.
Yeah.
I think I have seen Red Bull's one in their garage where they've got the Red Bull car hanging up and then their trophies go floor to ceiling. It's like a 30-foot ceiling or something.
Right.
And their trophy's all the way up there.
Wow.
And you're thinking, you're not going to be able to see Seb's first win or something like that because it's so far up there now.
Yeah. McLaren, I've seen Ricardo put his, is it Monza?
Monza? Oh, that one was quite nice. That was a Heineken Star, that one.
Yeah.
That was quite nice. It had the silver and the green and then a bit of red in there.
He put that in a cabinet and it was next to a Senna trophy. And he was like kind of speechless about it because it is quite a big thing to put your trophy next to Senna's trophy.
I was thinking about this earlier where you showed me that video of Lando's fan jumping in the air and hugging his family that he got a picture with Lando. And I was thinking, if I was Lando, I'd be looking and going, I'm just a normal guy. Why is this person like going? It must be the same with like Senna. If Senna was still alive and you've seen all these people like amazed that they're able to just get a trophy like next to yours, and you're thinking, yeah, but you're an F1 driver too. It must be like weird for these sort of people that are held in such high regard that are just at the end of the day, they're just a normal person.
Yeah.
They all live, they all breathe, they all, just see what I mean? They all do everything the same as you, basically.
Yeah, but I guess it's the legendness of them. Like anyone that has achieved greatness, you doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, 1 championship or 7. It's still amazing that you've done that, and you're going to be regarded as amazing. And everyone that doesn't do that is going to think, even people that do, they just respect you, don't they? For it.
I don't know. Sorry, I went totally.
We did go totally.
We're talking about trophies.
So just to wrap up the trophy digression, if that, can you say that?
I don't even know.
You like the track-shaped trophy of Austria?
I do,
but it stays with Austria, just Austrian one.
Because the Monaco one, I think, is cool. But it's done so much that I don't think it's.
Also, Monaco's not that nice a shape to do it. I don't know. Austria's quite I don't know.
I don't know, but there's a difference, isn't it? I'm not saying all the track ones, just Austria for me.
I do think it's nice to have a variety. So if they do bring back the wheel one or the ape, that would be nice.
Yeah.
You do want a certain track to have a certain shape.
Do you know what? I think about it. They should just get artists to do them. Imagine Banksy doing a trophy.
Yeah.
He'd probably say, do one with all your emissions and stuff like that. It'd be a proper statement, but it'd be so cool to see. Imagine the value of that as well. It'll get shredded in half and be worth like £800 million or something.
Well, no, the point of it isn't that you're supposed to sell it. That's why it got shredded.
No, I know. I understand, but you know.
I know what you mean, yeah. But then you have...
Or it will explode or something. Like, I don't know, Max is going to lift over his head and it just
Paint
melts
bomb.
or something. Yeah, glitter bomb, yeah.
Glitter bomb.
Yeah, and Max is just covered in glitter. That'll be
for the next month.
Yeah, because you can't get rid of glitter. Can't get rid of glitter.
Last question by WF Professor. With Kimi coming over to the US to do some stock car racing in August, I was wondering if you've gone and watched some NASCAR to familiarize yourself with it a bit. Not NASCAR we haven't watched.
No, I struggled to get into NASCAR because I haven't spent time enough to understand the rules properly. Understand they go round in a circle like every car racing does. I could get into it, I think.
I mean, we watch Indy a little bit every now and then when it starts after F1 or something.
I do know a little bit of NASCAR. I know we've got the new generation cars coming in. I'm not sure if Kimi's going to be in the NASCARs or he's going to be in the trucks. I can't remember what he's in. I want to say he's actually in the NASCAR. I also think Danny Kvyat, I saw a post. I think he's in some sort of NASCAR stock car racing now as well. And I was thinking...
I do think that Gunther...
Yeah.
Did I say that? Gunther did say that a lot of F1 drivers come talk to him because Haas has a NASCAR team.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And so they want to get into it or they're linked with something,
Yeah.
and they want to get into it.
That's where they started.
Right.
That's where they built up a lot of their racing sort of development and pedigree is in sort of stock car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into it, to be honest. I think it's more time, isn't it? It's another thing to invest your time in. The only other thing, going back to Danny Kvyat, so I saw a post of him saying, he's joining NASCAR team or whatever, got number 26 and all of that. And I was thinking, I wonder if Max Verstappen's going to take that seat. And I went into the comments and everyone's like, Max Verstappen's going to take this seat next, along with his wife and kid. And I was thinking, oh my gosh. They're not wrong though, but I was like, oh my gosh.
People are so savage sometimes.
Though I haven't said that. Danny Kvyat must hate Max Verstappen. He's
I
taken
don't
everything
know.
good in his life.
Yeah, but at the same time, why live in your life just annoyed about something that's happened and not just move forward,
I am interested to see Kimi. The lore of Kimi in NASCAR is interesting, just to see how he'd get on.
we probably would watch it just to see him.
So it was August 21st, if you're interested, everyone, from WF Professor saying familiarise yourself. We
didn't watch it today because we only just read this post.
Yeah.
So...
I'm, as I say, I'm well interested to get involved in it and see what happens.
Yeah, it probably won't be something that we watch every week though, not every race or something, but
no,
every now
if
and
it's
then.
on,
yeah,
we will definitely see if we can tune into that.
Okay, so I think that's everything for this week.
Yeah.
With F1 being on a break, we're also going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back with a race review.
Mid-season review, sorry.
That's the one. We'll be back with a mid-season review, probably the week before the next race.
That's Spa, isn't it? I love Spa.
To get us all excited about Spa.
Yep, enjoy time off if you're having time off. It's
Try to have time off.
It's a bit of a strange time when F1's not around for is it 4 weeks or something? It's a bit strange.
It's 3, yeah.
I think it is a strange time where there's no F1 or anything. I
think everything stops. There's nothing on TV.
Maybe spend some time with your family.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, stay safe. Enjoy the break. We will be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And take care, everyone.
See ya.
Tires are okay for plan B.